Let's begin today's video, children, with the PNS. PNS stands for Peripheral Nervous System. Now, peripheral nervous system, because it is nervous system, children, so it basically consists of the nerves. So, children, it consists of two types of nerves. One are known as cranial nerves and the other are known as spinal nerves. Now, the names will easily help us to identify that what are these. Now, there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves and there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Now, cranial, children, why? The name cranial tells us that these nerves, they arise from the brain. Cranial word, cranium, these are the words that are used for brain. So, cranial nerves means the nerves that are originating from the brain. Similarly, spinal nerves, which are 31 pairs, children, these are the nerves that are arising from the spinal cord. These nerves emerge from the brain and supply to the different parts of the head. There are 12 pairs. Spinal nerves, these nerves emerge from the spinal cord and supply to the different parts of the body. There are 31 pairs. Coming to the neurons, children, the nervous system of our body is made up of highly specialized cells, and these cells are known as, children, neurons, because they make the nervous system, so the name is neurons. It is also the smallest functional unit of this nervous system because they are the smallest cells, and cells, you know, children, they are the smallest structural and functional unit. So that way is neurons are the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Coming to the parts of a neuron, children, each nerve cell has a cell body which is known as the cyton. Now, this pink structure that you see over here, children, that's the cyton. Finger-like extensions from the cyton called the dendrons or the dendrites arise. Now, these finger-like projections, you can see these finger-like things are coming out. These are known as dendrites. And a long wire-like extension called the axon is also there. Now, this pink long thing that you can see, children, that's the axon. This axon carries the impulses from place to place. Now, this axon will help to carry the impulses from one place of your body to the other. This axon ends in the form of a synaptic knobs. Now, these synaptic knobs, children, are that particular place where the dendrites of one neuron meet the dendrites of the other neuron. Dendrites of one cell almost touch the synaptic knobs of the next cell. At this point, there is a small gap which is known as a synapse. Now, very clearly you can see the synapse in this picture over here, children. See, the synapse is there and these are the dendrites of the two neuron. And how the small gap between these two is known as a synapse. Now, this is also one picture which is showing a synapse. Now, this small gap which is there is known as the synapse. Coming to the types of neuron. How many types of neurons are there? Now, there are three basic types of the neurons, children. The receptors, effectors, and the relax or the connecting interneurons. The relay. Now, starting with one at a time, the receptor neurons. Now, what is the function of these neurons? That is what we are going to see, children. Receptor neurons will carry the impulses from the receptors to the central neurons. Right? So, receptors are the sensory neurons, children, that are connected with the sense organs of our body. Effector neuron, they carry impulses from the central nervous systems to the effector. And the relay neurons will carry the impulses from the receptor neurons to the effector, or from one relay neuron to another. Now, next is, children, in your books, this is given the structure of a neuron. Now, this is very important. You should know how to draw the structure of a neuron, children. This is very, very important. And many a times in the exams, in the tests and all, children are asked how to draw the structure of a neuron. Now, let's see certain details about the various parts of a neuron. The cell body, the main part of the neuron, which consists of cytoplasm and the nucleus only, is known as the cell body. Now, this structure, as you can see, children, over here, this is the cell body, which just consists of the cytoplasm as well as the nucleus. Next you can see children the dendrites. Dendrites are over here children. These finger-like projections that you can see that are coming out are all known as dendrites. Now these dendrites are the short branch processes and they receive the impulse and transmit them to the cell body. Whatever impulse they receive children, that is sent to the cell body. So they receive the impulses and it is directed towards the cell body. Next is the axon. As you can see children, one long structure arises from the cyton and reaches down. This is known as the axon. This is the single longest unbranched process and it transmits the impulse away from the cell body. Now this will take the impulse away from the cell body. So it will help to transfer the impulse from the cell body towards the other part. Now next is children the myelin sheath. Now you can see this axon is covered by something which is known as this covering, which is known as the myelin sheath. It is made up of the Schwann cells and it is protected. The work of this is to protect the impulse from getting distracted and it will speed up the impulse which is being carried. So it's like an insulation that works. Like the wires, they have an insulation. In the same way, there is an insulation over the axon. Next are the nodes of Ranvier. As you can see over here, children, in between, these are the rods. So they are the gap between the Schwann cells where the myelin sheath is absent. Actually, over here, there is no myelin sheath. So those are the nodes of Ranvier. Coming to nerves. Neurons, when grouped together, children, they form a nerve. With the neurons, that are the cells, the structural unit of the nervous system, children, when these neurons will group together, they form what is known as a nerve. A nerve is formed of a bundle of axons which are enclosed in a myelin sheath, that is the medullary sheath. This sheath over an axon acts as an insulation and prevents the mixing of the impulses to the adjacent fiber. Nerves are spread out in all the parts of our body. Now you can see the structure over here, children. Coming to the types of nerves, children, there are 3 types of nerves. Let's see one at a time each. Coming to sensory nerves, they only contain the sensory neurons. Now because the name is sensory nerves, so they are containing the sensory neurons. The optic nerve that transmits impulses from the retina of the eye to the brain. Now these optic nerves are connected and they are transferring the impulse from the retina to the brain. Retina is actually, children, the part of the eye which helps us to see the things. Next is the motor nerve. They contain only motor neurons, that is the cranial nerves. They carry the impulses from the brain and the spinal cord to the body parts. Then are the mixed nerves, children. They contain both sensory and the motor neurons. For example, the spinal nerves. Now over here there is a picture which is illustrating the things. The functions of the nerves, children, they will receive the stimulus from the environment. In a multicellular organism like human beings, this is done by the modified nerves which are called the receptors. Now whatever stimulus is there in the environment, that is received by the receptors of our body. They also convert the stimulus into the form of an electric impulse by the process called transduction. Now whatever stimulus has been received, it has to be converted into electrical impulses. And to convert a stimulus into an electrical impulse, the process is known as transduction. The last is, children, they have to transmit them often over considerable distance to the other cells, which are called the effectors. Now these effectors are capable of producing a response. Now first we receive the stimulus, children, then those stimulus are changed into the electrical impulse, and then when the electrical impulse reaches to the brain or the spinal cord, then the effectors are told what is to be done, and that is how we give a response. Nerve impulse, this is the last heading. Unlike the electrical impulse that are sent along the telephone line, the nerve impulses are caused by the chemical changes in and around the neuron. Now nerve impulse also travel rapidly in one direction, starting at the dendrites and finishing at the end of the axon. Now look at this picture, children. It is showing how the various nerves are there in our body, how they are present in every part of your body, and how they extend from the brain and the spinal cord, and they move down throughout the length of your body. So this is how the network of the various nerves is found in our body. Coming to the last thing, children, that is the autonomic nervous system, which is also known in short as ANS. This autonomic nervous system consists of the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system. The activities of internal organ like the heart, blood vessels, smooth muscles, glands, etc. are controlled by another specific set of nerves that form the autonomic nervous system. Now children, this sympathetic nervous system, sympathetic system, children, it will help to start some action, and this will help to stop that action. That is, the parasympathetic system will help to stop the action. So this is how the two are working. So with this we come to an end of today's video. Thank you. So that's it for today's video, children. I hope I made myself very clear to you and you have understood each and every point that I have explained to you in today's video. If you have really understood, you know what is to be done. Please do like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And please hit the bell icon, because after that you will be notified with every new video that I am going to upload. See you very soon with rest of the videos upcoming soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.